Welcome to Around the Peninsula. I'm Army Sergeant Alan Brutus. 3 high school seniors get a blast from their past as the new school year begins. Senior Airman Emma Duff reports.
Like the wheels on a bus, the Camp Humphreys school year comes around once again. Transportation Officer Billy Stevens finds familiar faces at the new middle and high school's first orientation.
I ran across 3 names that I knew, the Chilt family. They're triplets, and I remember when they was just beginning school as kindergartners, and now this year they're going into the 12th grade. That's awesome.
Mr. Stevens gave the Chips triplets their very first bus passes.
And this happened in Mannheim, Germany. Now here we are all the way in South Korea, Humphreys, and we have met again.
The triplets saw Mr. Stevens within their first week of being at Camp Humphreys.
And it was just so cool running into him. It was comforting. It was like seeing family almost.
And We've
known him for so long.
And I think it just goes to show like how small the world really is nowadays.
A small world where Camp Humphreys makes big changes. Senior Airman Emma Duff, Camp Humphreys, Korea.
The Chips will be off to college next year and hope to continue meeting people like Mr. Stevens along the way. One airman at Kunsan Air Base found the best way to connect with troops is to get back to the basics and really get his hands dirty. Army Sergeant Timothy Villarreal explains.
The airmen at Fire Crash and Rescue get a visit from an unexpected guest. The commander of 8th Civil Engineer Squadron, Dustin Devil Richards, had an opportunity to get face-to-face with his troops in a personal way.
Fire and Emergency Services flight is one of the flights that I'm responsible for, one of the 6 flights that we have in civil engineering. So what I wanted to do was come out and see what a day in the life of the firefighter was like.
This is not a typical visit for him, but it is well received by all the airmen alike.
It's really cool to see that your commander actually coming out trying to learn people by name and knowing who you are instead of just being a normal airman.
Devil participates in a block of instruction which involves a hands-on portion that many wouldn't have the stomach for.
Shouldn't hurt. If it does, just let me know. Pull it right out.
Did the nasal pharyngeal airway opening, which was an interesting experience. It's the first time I've had one of those inserted, so get some good hands-on training for the guys who would really do it in real life.
Completely in.
Yeah, I can feel it.
Army Sergeant Timothy Villarreal, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Got it all the way?
Yep.
The average firefighter's basic gear can weigh over 75 pounds. What would you do to help the less fortunate? Specialist Pedro Amador talks to one soldier who takes his time to make sure nobody goes hungry.
Underneath a subway station in Uijambu, soldiers from the 2nd Infantry Division come together to participate in a soup kitchen where they feed over 150 local citizens who are in need of a helping hand. With 280 volunteer hours, this soldier joins the line of people who hand out hot plates to hungry people.
What I'm going to be doing is helping serve and also at the same time make sure that they have a good day today. I just want to make a difference in life for them to know that I have feelings for them.
Kalimlim is one of many Camp Stanley boss or better opportunity for single soldiers, volunteers, and during his short stay in Korea, he has already made his mark, helping out in many ways.
PFC Kalimlim is a very outstanding volunteer for a boss. With the boss program, we have events such as the soup kitchen where some soldiers don't like to come out, but this is actually one of his favorite activities to participate in, and he comes out being able to give back to the community, not just helping out with soldiers on post. Every Friday, he is on the sign-up roster to come out here.
The atmosphere is really busy, so I just want to get everybody what they need so they can eat and go home with a full stomach.
Because of volunteers like Kalimlim, a lot of people get to go home with a full stomach. Specialist Pedro Amador, Uijambu, Korea.
The Camp Stanley boss team holds a soup kitchen every Friday. In the Army, training underwater can be a rarity, but one group of soldiers make it a priority. Specialist Aaron Loy reports.
Soldiers from the 2nd Combat Aviation Brigade traveled to ROK Naval Base Pohang to conduct survivability operations using the Phase 3 Modular Egress Trainer, or as it's commonly called, Dunker Training. For first-time trainee Army Private First Class Kayla Brinkerhoff, fear was the first thing to set in.
I'm not afraid of water normally, and to be clipped in like that, was a totally different experience for me. It's definitely a mind over matter thing. You have to try not to panic, and at the first time I did panic. It's just like, oh, get me out of here. Very different than what I initially thought, actually. So it's a lot more mental than it is anything else.
Although he trains in a controlled environment, Chief Instructor Kwak Tong Hyun realizes the real-world implications of his instruction.
I heard that one of the soldiers was certified from me. He was a real accident. He was a survive. So I heard that. It's really made me cry. That much I feel it's a great job I'm working for this one.
Specialist Aaron Loy, Pohang, Korea.
Rock Naval Base Pohang contains the only dunker training facility on the entire peninsula. When getting a government vehicle fixed, more people think about when they can get their vehicle back instead of the hard work that goes into fixing it. Senior Airman Adam Harder reports from Kunsan Air Base.
When a government vehicle breaks down in the Air Force, the first thing troops usually do is send it to the vehicle maintenance shop and wait until it's fixed. Yet most troops who drive government vehicles don't take the time to recognize airmen like Senior Airman Colin Turnbow, one of the many vehicle maintainers at Kunsan who tirelessly work on the never-ending flow of incoming vehicles.
Usually this shop there's so many vehicles in here you can't pull another one in. Like there's 2 spots right there, third one right there, and we're standing in one. It's a long process because of how many vehicles there are, how few people we are, and how hard it is to get parts.
Patience is necessary for this grease-covered craft, and each airman in the shop shares a passion for the down and dirty duty they perform every day.
I grew up doing this. My family's all mechanics, so I'm actually a third-generation vehicle maintainer in the Air Force. Turning wrenches is all right, it's not that bad, but actually helping someone learn how to turn wrenches that really wants to learn how to turn wrenches is way more rewarding in the end of the day than me ever turning a wrench on a bobtail.
If vehicle maintainers like these weren't willing to push through tight deadlines, the impact to missions around the base would be immense.
My favorite part of the job is when something comes in that can be done in a day, but not really. Like it shouldn't be able to be done in a day. They're like, yo, you gotta get this vehicle out, you gotta get it out today. We have the parts, and they kind of let you just go at it. And it's really cool when a vehicle leaves the shop that wasn't supposed to leave the shop. I mean, it makes you feel pretty cool.
Senior Airman Adam Harder, Kunsan Air Base, Korea.
Military mechanics may work on up to 80 different types of vehicles in their career. The Deputy Secretary of Defense, Robert Work, visits military members at Osan Air Base. Airman First Class Devin Nothstein gives us more information about the subject.
Over 100 military members funnel into a hangar on Osan Air Base, not knowing exactly what to expect from a new visitor.
And now I get to be the Deputy Secretary.
The Honorable Robert O. Work explains the alliance and combined capabilities the United States and the Republic of Korea share.
The U.S.-Korean alliance is the linchpin of security in Northeast Asia.
He also expresses the need for defense of the Korean Peninsula.
What we hope is to have an extremely interoperable system between the United States theater air and missile defense systems and the Korean air and missile defense systems.
Mr. Work closes with this.
But I really wanted to thank you on behalf of Secretary Hagel and myself.
Airman First Class Devin Nothstein.
Thanks a lot.
Osan, Korea.
Mr. Work's trip includes visits to Guam, Hawaii, and Japan to strengthen the alliances. That was your Around the Peninsula for Thursday, August 28th. To see these stories and others, go to the AFN Pacific website or view them through the AFN Pacific app. From all of us here at AFN, enjoy your evening.